Hey guys, what's up? Wardí here, and I'm back with my second ever vlog. Now, I feel a little bit bad because this feels a little late. It's gonna be like my March recap vlog, only obvious. It's like, it's we're a week into April, right? So it's a little bit late, and I also feel sort of bad because we hit the $50 Patreon goal, and we'll talk a bit more about Patreon and the other goals we've hit there later. But we hit that goal, and that was to kind of do more vlogs and to give more opinions on things and, do more stuff like this on a more regular basis. And I haven't done it yet, so I'm kind of saying it's because I've been very busy. In a way, it's also because I just didn't plan it well enough to be able to get it done. So sorry for that. Sorry it's been a bit delayed. Hopefully now in April, if things calm down a little. It's a busy month. It really is. And again, we'll talk about that soon. But it's a busy month where there is still kind of days with a little bit less on than usual. So it gives me some time to work on stuff and so on. So sorry for that. And let's talk about March. I mean, we came into March off of February, which was a fantastic month in terms of everything. February was amazing. Like, it was one of my best, well, it was the best month of streaming ever. My channel was larger than ever before. We got more subs than ever before, more donations. Everything was rolling in February. And that was sort of because there was loads of WCS qualifiers for the WCS Winter Championship, for example. It was just, there was just lots to stream in February. There's the Civic Race Wars, Acer Pro Challenge. We had Team League matches as well. There was all sorts. Now, obviously, coming into March, I expected it to be a little bit slower pace, At the same time, there has been good things coming up in March, but it was going to be a little bit slower pace. Just Team League matches, some weekly events, and a little bit slower, but I didn't expect it to be quite as bad as it actually was. And there was kind of a couple of things in a row that really made the first half of March a really kind of rough start. Like, it was really bad at the start of March. We had the Winter Championship, and then we had the Ting Open, which were two pretty major events. Now, obviously, the Winter Championship is a big premier event, one of the most important events there is. And there's not much I can do about the Winter Championship, right? I mean, we just got to deal with it. I can't cast it. I can't really stream through it. Doesn't make a lot of sense. A lot of the stuff I want to organise can't be organised because players are, the majority of European players are at the Winter Championship. The majority of teams have players at the Winter Championship. So that's kind of, a painful thing that I can't really do much about. Then the Ting Open, obviously, is just the way it was. Is it basically started like a couple of days after the Winter Championship with streams every day, and that took away a lot of my viewership for the next week, which is again going to happen. I mean, I'm obviously not able to compete with base trade, and a lot of the time I will put events when base trade are not necessarily doing a stream. So if they do like a Corsair Cup every Monday, I'm not going to run a cup on Monday, and I also try and avoid the Team League matches, especially the very good ones, to kind of put them on other days as well, where maybe base trade will stream, but it's not as, it's not necessarily going to be 100% there. So when the Ting Open was on every day, obviously I can't just not stream every day again. But that kind of hurt the viewers anyway. So it's kind of a rough first week for the Winter Championship where I couldn't really stream very much. And then the second week was like, well, everyone's watching the Ting Open. Why not? It was such an awesome, amazing event. But that kind of hurt too. And it was kind of like the double whammy. Really kind of messed with me, I guess, a little bit. So it was a bit of a rough start to March, and that was getting me a little bit down. I was a bit like, oh, is this really working again? I was like doubting myself. I wasn't really gaining any subs. The stream didn't look to be going anywhere. But I have to kind of remember, like, these things happen. And I think one of the important things to think about is, what should I do next time this happens? How can I get around this? Can I stream at other times? Is there some events I can say? Certain events I can do that don't involve all these top players? Can I use this time to work more on YouTube content? And if I work on my YouTube content enough, is that going to be a viable way to, make do while I'm not necessarily streaming? Or maybe I stream while focused on YouTube content. Maybe I stream some community stuff. Maybe that's when I do all my viewer events or something. That's something I really have to think about for, say, the start of May, actually, because at the start of May we have the Spring Championship, and then the week after is DreamHack Austin, and then the Spring Championship. So the first 2 weekends of May is another double whammy where it's like, it may not be so bad, but it's still going to have a big effect on what I can stream, how much I stream, and probably the viewership as well, because people are going to be watching those events. So that's something I got to keep in mind, something I'm working on. Again, just thinking of, do I just work on YouTube content then, and maybe do I work on like writing to sponsors at that time more so than ever, and that sort of thing. And is it just part of the thing where maybe I just stream a little bit of my ladder or something else and don't worry so much. Make sure the stream's consistent and just do my best where I can. Now, one of the things that really did pick up in March, though, was the Dojo Star Masters. We got to broadcast that every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from about the middle of March, and that's really cool, because that is 3 days a week where, even if nothing happens on the evening, which kind of sucked, because, I mean, EU evening is my prime time, the goal of when I want to stream most, and when I really kind of try to, I stream around the clock, depending what events are on, but I try to stream EU evening times. I think if I don't stream in EU evening time, then it's a bit of a letdown for a day. But the Dojo Star Masters is really good content. It takes up 3 days of the week for the majority of the time. Sometimes it overlaps a bit with Code S, for example. But it's still, at least we've got a stream on. People can watch it if they would like to. They can go back, watch the VOD. It's actually given me a lot of good stuff to put on YouTube as well. Now, when I say YouTube content that I'm trying to make like a couple of minutes ago, I'm not talking about just uploading VODs. I'm talking about, making guides, gonna do some single player stuff as well, or all sorts of different things. So that's what I mean with that. I mean, but the Dojo Star Masters does give me good stuff to put on YouTube as well. And again, anything I put on YouTube generally grows the channel. If I can say, hey, look, we've got all these fantastic Korean players playing every 3 times a week in a cup, and you can watch the best games on the YouTube channel, it's going to bring people to the YouTube. And I'm going to say YouTube a lot in this vlog because the growing of the YouTube is one of my main focuses now. Not really one of my main focuses, but it's becoming more of a priority. I'm going to really look into growing the YouTube more than ever. Which kind of brings me on to my next little thing. So yeah, I mean, Dojo Star Masters, that was a big plus and gave me a lot to stream. And finding more things like that I'm going to be able to stream on a regular basis, those are always going to be very good positives. And I guess that also comes back to kind of having a new season of the Team League, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So let's get off the negatives, let's go to the positives. And one of the biggest positives was how well the Patreon's been doing. A bunch of my very loyal viewers, I would say, have decided to start pledging on Patreon, such as Murpha, Dark Ones, Arius. There's a whole bunch of you guys who pledge on Patreon, and I don't want to name everyone right now. I mean, but you know what I mean. Like, those guys have actually been putting in some. I'm just saying those guys because they're the most recent pledges, and they have actually helped me to get the Patreon not just over the $50 goal, which is where I was going to do more personal content, but over the $100 goal, where I'm going to do more YouTube content in general. So that was a really big positive. I mean, it actually only just happened today that we went over 100. We were at 91, and then Murphy doubled his donation, his amount. So that was pretty crazy. And so we're at $113 a month on Patreon right now, which is really great because, again, things like Patreon, subscribers, that sort of thing, that's obviously if one person pulls out, it'll take a dip, it'll take a hit. But it's fairly consistent income in my eyes because not everyone's going to pull out at the same time unless I suddenly piss everyone off, right? So that's really cool because it just gives me, in my head, it's like, okay, well, that's another $100 now that I've got on lockdown each month. That's good. It gives me a bit more stability to work with. So that's really great, and that means I'm going to be doing a lot more YouTube content, and that's something we'll talk about again in a little bit. So Patreon's been going great, and actually the sub goal has actually been going great as well. You might realize that we are on the hashtag road to 100 subs, where maybe I'm being a bit ambitious, but I want to try and hit 100 subs by the end of April. Now, the subs, actually, to be fair, what I've noticed about my channel is that I've been very good at retaining subscribers, in that not very many people actually unsubscribe after 1 month. Like, a few people do, obviously, and that's going to happen, but we're always seeming to be on the up, and even when it seemed as though we weren't getting new subscribers for a very long time, we were only ever going up in subscribers still, for the most part, or we were staying at the same number, So that was really nice to see, even though March was March was kind of a very weak month at the start, but we didn't really dip down subscribers. We did February in 75, and March we went down to 72, and then stayed there for quite a while. Then towards the end of March we hit 75, and very quickly we actually hit 83. So the sub goal's been going really well as well, which is awesome too. And at 100 subs we're going to do kind of a bit of a party sort of stream, have a few drinks or something, and do some viewer games, have a bit of a laugh, and just do something like that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to hitting that 100 sub goal. Because again, I mean, it's just an arbitrary number, but I mean, it's just cool, right? 100 subs. And again, subs are really great as kind of a consistent income. Channel followers, doing great as well. About to hit 8,000, which is crazy. We're also about to hit 1 million channel views, and that's pretty good too. The final positive thing in March was probably getting to do Copa America. And so now I'm kind of the English caster for Copa America, or at least I'm on a trial period. But as far as I'm aware, it's been going fairly well. So hopefully that's something I can do more in the future. One of the negatives about Copa America is it's not on my channel. So anything I do there doesn't necessarily grow my channel. But I've got to look at it as kind of growing my name and just another opportunity as well. So that's pretty good as well. I actually really have enjoyed doing the Copa America and casting those matches. The finale of Copa American for the season is on Saturday. We have the entirety of the playoffs being played out. So make sure you guys tune in for that because it should be pretty fun. So I have like 3 more points I want to talk about. I've got like a rough list of things to talk about. I think let's first of all talk about YouTube content. Let's stay on the positive. So the $100 Patreon goal was that at $100 I would start producing more YouTube content and putting out on a more regular basis. I said something like I'll do like 2 pieces a week. Now I'd love to stick to that, and honestly I'm going to try my hardest to stick to that. But some weeks, I mean, I just came off a weekend where I casted something like, I did something like 8 hours on Thursday, 15 hours on Friday, 8 hours on Saturday, and then like 10, 12, I think it was like 12 hours on Sunday. It's like, okay, if that happens, maybe I can't put out 2 YouTube videos a week, you know? Like, some weeks, the stream has to come first, and I do want to do more on YouTube. I do want to grow the YouTube. But if there's so much to stream, I have to stream and cast. It makes no sense not to. And honestly, there's no way I'm going to come out of a 15-hour cast and be like, yeah, let's go and make some YouTube content. I think I'm more likely to go to bed, wake up, and then cast some more. So I'm going to do my best to get 2 pieces of YouTube content out a week. One of the cool things is that I think now that I've figured out a bit more kind of other YouTube content I can do, it's going to be a bit easier for me. And once you can kind of get the thumbnail set up initially, once you get sort of the intro bit done, that sort of stuff, everything rolls along a bit faster. So right now for YouTube content, I have the idea of doing some guides like I've been doing in the past, so build, order, focus, more or less. I have the idea of just doing general analysis of games. I've had the idea of doing more laid-back sort of analysis of kind of certain play styles and certain builds, more so than kind of a strict build order guide, and just kind of more analytical discussions where we kind of look at a game and just sort of discuss things, or I kind of tell you my thoughts and stuff. So I think that'd be cool. I might actually have the idea to kind of do something called the Tech Lab, where we upgrade your knowledge. And that's something I want to do, and I feel as though, like, I don't want to just be putting out videos and be like, oh, I just decided to talk about this. I'd rather be like, Tech Lab episode 1 drops or something, you know? So that's sort of what I'm looking towards in terms of that. And actually, I really want to get some graphics up for that. So I'm going to have to talk to my friend again and hopefully get those sorted. But that's some of the YouTube content I want to do. I'm also going to be doing the first thing I've actually recorded, and it's going to be going up. Well, I haven't decided when it's going to be going up. I'm kind of scheduling a lot of stuff on YouTube too. So I'm not quite sure when it's going to go up, but I have recorded my first ever single-player StarCraft 2 content. Obviously, the Nova Covert Ops pack came out, like, very recently, so I played the first mission in that. I actually loved it. I've loved it so much that I was really genuinely about to go and record the second mission. Before I've even put the first one on YouTube, I was genuinely about to go record the second mission right now, and honestly, I might even still do it, even though it's like 3 a.m. or something. But I made myself do the vlog first because I know I have to do the vlog, and honestly I really shouldn't do it, but I'm really looking forward to doing it. I liked it that much, so maybe I actually gonna do that a bit as well, and actually maybe I do a run through the campaign, because I've never done the campaign. I've never played the campaign at all, so maybe I upload my journey through that. And obviously, again, maybe that's not something that interests everyone, but it's something that will interest some people, and I think it's a really cool way for people to kind of get to know me a little bit better as well. Which brings me on to personal content, which, okay, let's come back to personal content. I just want to say, like, if you guys have any idea for YouTube content and stuff I could put out each week, I'm always happy to hear it. I may not necessarily go along with what you guys suggest, but a lot of your suggestions do help me in kind of going further. Like Murphy, for example, suggested that I do a kind of a how to drop as Terran like a Terran drops 101 guide, and that's a really cool idea, and that's actually what got me thinking into how I could make this a bit of a kind of a regular like the tech lab thing, and it's still written on my whiteboard, written on my whiteboard, right to the left of me. So that was one heck of a tongue twister. So that's written over there. It's still there because I do want to do it. It's just figuring out how I want to do it, and that's definitely one of the main things in terms of putting out good YouTube content, I think. But yeah, so hopefully with all of that, and some more of your guys' ideas, hopefully the YouTube's going to become a lot more active. It's already doing really well. We're almost at 600 YouTube subscribers, which, considering we were on less than 200 a few months ago, like 3 months ago, and I haven't done much on it, that's really awesome. That being said, we have been uploading a lot of Team League matches to the YouTube. I've started uploading the Do Your Star Masters matches there, and what I'm trying to do is not put them all up at the same time. I'm trying to get them ready and making sure that there's 1 or 2 new videos a day. Sometimes there's going to be more because there's just that much stuff we're casting and that many good games. Maybe there'll be more. But I'm making sure that I spread out a little bit. So one will go live at like 1 p.m. in the day, one goes live at 7. Just so it's kind of a little bit more spread out, and just thinking about that a bit more. Alright, let's go into personal content though. So I began to touch on this, and I mean, I want to do more personal content. I kind of feel like the Nova COVID ops playing through that sort of like personal content. I do want to sort of stream myself playing another, a couple of different games perhaps. It's tough because I don't really play anything right now. I don't actually have time to play anything else right now. And I guess on the personal content, maybe I shouldn't focus so much on playing other games, but more so just giving my opinions. Like, maybe I should do a vlog on what I think about the map pool, or what I think about how one single patch manages to break everything in StarCraft. I don't know. But that sort of stuff. And I think that sort of stuff's actually very important, because what I really want to do is not just be this guy people tune into because they want to see, right now I feel a lot of my stream is, sometimes my chat isn't very active and stuff like that, and so on, and I feel as those people who are like coming in like, okay, I'm watching this because it's like a qualifier for an event I'm interested in. They're not necessarily watching it because they know who I am, or because they like me, or anything like that. So because I'm a solo caster, I never really get to show a lot of the time my kind of funny light side, I guess, or so, or I interversing with people, you know what I mean? So that's something I really want to work on, and that's why I think maybe doing just some more vlogs where I can talk a bit more freely and I don't have to talk about the game and keep going back to the game. Just help people get to know me and my opinions, and just let people know who I am. I think that's actually a really important thing to continue working on. And that will pretty much bring me to my last point, which is kind of going back on myself a little bit, but I didn't want to throw negativity into all the positivity. So the last point I want to talk about very quickly, because I've been talking like 20 minutes almost. Sponsorships and future of the Team League is what I want to talk about a little bit. So I'm still working on a sponsorship brochure. I'm making sure it's written very well. I'm making sure it's written properly, and that it's going to be attractive to potential investors. And when I say investors, or potential sponsors, I should say. And again, I mean, I don't know if I talked about this last time, but basically, I think sponsorships, if I could get like 1 or 2 sponsors for the channel in general, who kind of help out with a little bit monetarily each month, or even with just something that makes people maybe want to get involved more in the channel. Say, like, if I get a peripheral sponsor and they can give me a headset to give away each month, or a mouse to give away each month, that sort of thing. I think a couple of those would really help the channel out a lot. So I'm really focusing on that. And I'm also focusing on obviously trying to get a Team League Season 7, because the Team League is some of the major content on my channel. And without Team League, I would not have very much to cast some days. Like this week right now, a lot of player teams don't want to play because of the ladder lock coming up on the for the Challenger competition. And that's kind of screwing me over, because now I've had, like, today I didn't really have very much to cast. Tomorrow I'm struggling to find things to cast. So I'm a little bit all over the place in terms of that. So it's really important that I get another season of the Team League, I feel, because without that event, I feel like I miss out on a lot of content that I'm putting out. I miss out on a lot of my YouTube videos, and just everything is really important. So that's something I'm really focusing on. I believe we can get another season with the same prize pool, because we do take entry fees off of the teams. We've probably got a fairly solid sponsor from this season to carry on. if we really need to, I think we could probably fundraise a few €100. So I am a firm believer right now that we will be able to get a season 7 of the Team League in some way. And that is, again, very important because I need that to continue for the rest of this year. If I want to stay full time, I need the Team League because otherwise I'm just not going to have enough to cast, and I can't justify being full time if I'm not casting frequently enough. So that's very, very important for me. And that's something I'm going to be focusing on a lot whenever I'm not streaming. Because this sponsorship brochure has to be good. It's going to be sent out to a lot of people. And I know I'm going to get a bunch of people who just don't respond. But I'm hoping a couple do. I hope a couple are very interested in what I'm doing. And I hope a couple of people get on board. Whether it's just for the Team League. Even a channel sponsorship. Like if someone sponsors the channel, they may very well just be kind of putting a bunch of money into the Team League or so. So you know what, that's what I'm kind of looking towards. That's just something I'm working on. And yeah, I guess one last thing I didn't say is that I started the UK and Ireland series again. And that's going kind of cool right now. It's a little bit disorganized because I've been so busy, but hopefully I'm going to work on that tomorrow. In fact, it's on the top of my list tomorrow. I have on the top of my list of things to do is to organize the UK tournament and update Team League stats and stuff. So that's going to be one of the first things I do tomorrow. Which means I should probably go and get on with some other work. I should get some stuff uploaded to YouTube and finish off some VODs and so on. So I'm going to leave this here, guys. I hope you enjoyed listening. Again, I really do hope I do a few more kind of little vlogs throughout the month instead of just the next time you see me in one of these being a recap of April. So hopefully you guys see me in a couple of those when I get some. I might talk about the map pool. In fact, that's a good one. I think I will do that next week probably. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, hit subscribe and see when I post more of these, and obviously check out all the links around the place of where you can follow me and stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on stream, on YouTube, or wherever else you decide to follow my content.